She called another man her soulmate and let him make every decision. So I let them build their dream wedding, then told her to marry him at the rehearsal dinner of the wedding they planned. I was 33, living a quiet, stable life and working as a structural engineer. My job involved paying attention to the details most people never think about: stress points, load paths, foundation strength. I was good at figuring out when something was built to last, and when something was just waiting to fall apart. For the last 3 years, I thought the relationship I had with Chloe was strong. We were very different, but we balanced each other well. She was outgoing and full of ideas. I was calm, focused, and practical. We weren't perfect, but I thought we worked. We got engaged after 3 years together. I was sure about her. We picked a wedding date, booked the venue, paid deposits, and sent out save the dates. Everything was moving forward. I was ready for marriage, not just the ceremony, but the life after it. I genuinely thought we were a team. I didn't see any major red flags. But sometimes the cracks don't show until pressure hits. And when they do, you can't ignore them. In our case, the crack was a guy named Dylan. Dylan was her best friend, some theater director she'd known since college. They were close, always talking, always hanging out. She'd call him her platonic soulmate, which I brushed off at first. I'm not the jealous type. I didn't want to be controlling. I figured it was just a weird phrase she used. I trusted her. I believed that even if he was her best friend, I was her partner. But that assumption fell apart in one conversation. 2 weeks ago, we sat down to officially start planning the wedding together. I had everything ready: budgets, guest lists, venue info. I was organized. I thought she'd appreciate that. But before I could even say anything, she looked at me with a big smile and said, "I have a surprise." I asked Dylan to help us plan the wedding. I paused, thinking maybe she meant something small, like helping pick a song. But then she kept talking. "He's going to be our wedding consultant," she said. "He has a great eye for aesthetics. He'll help with colors, flowers, music, everything. It'll be like a team project." I sat there for a second, processing. Then I spoke calmly. "Chloe, I know you and Dylan are close, but this is our wedding. I want to plan it with you. Just you. I don't think we need a third person involved in decisions that should be ours." Her smile dropped immediately. Her whole tone changed. She looked at me like I just didn't understand anything. "You don't get it," she said. "He's not a third person. He's my soulmate. He gets me in a way you don't. He deserves a say in everything." That word, soulmate, hit harder than she probably realized. It wasn't just something cute or harmless. It was a line that told me everything I needed to know. She didn't see me as her closest connection. She saw him that way. She was basically saying the emotional bond she had with him mattered more than the one she had with me. And if that was the case, what was I even doing there? I didn't start a fight. I didn't raise my voice. I just looked at her, nodded slowly, and said one word, "Okay." She thought that meant I'd accepted it. She smiled again, all excited, and said, "I knew you'd understand. This is going to be so much fun." From that day on, I let them have it. The wedding became their project. They picked the flowers, the music, the decorations. They went to cake tastings together. They chose a song for the first dance, one I'd never even heard before, but apparently had some memory from a road trip they took in college. I didn't argue. I just nodded, smiled, and paid for everything. I paid for the venue, the photographer, the florist. Every big expense came out of my pocket. But what she didn't know was that I was keeping every receipt, every email, every single piece of evidence. While she was planning a wedding with another man, I was quietly meeting with a lawyer, not a divorce lawyer, an annulment lawyer. I told him everything. And when he heard the word soulmate, he sat back in his chair, smiled, and said, "That's not just a bad choice of words. That's fraud." He explained that if she was entering a marriage while already declaring a deeper, emotional partnership with someone else, then the entire agreement was built on a lie. We could argue that she misrepresented her intentions. And from a legal standpoint, that opened a door I was fully ready to walk through. So while she was focused on her dream wedding, I was focused on the exit. And I had a specific date in mind for it, the rehearsal dinner. The night before the wedding when everyone would be there. When she'd be least expecting it. The rehearsal dinner was held at a quiet, upscale restaurant just outside the city. It was a place Chloe had picked with Dylan's input, of course. Everything from the menu to the centerpieces had his touch on it. I noticed how comfortable he was, laughing with her family, toasting with my friends, acting like he was hosting the event. And she didn't seem to mind at all. In fact, she looked at him more that night than she looked at me. It was clear who she felt most connected to. And that was fine by me, because this was their stage. I just wanted them to shine before I pulled the curtain. I waited until everyone was seated. The food had been served. Glasses were full. People were smiling, taking pictures, making small talk. It was the perfect moment. Calm, comfortable, full of hope. I stood up, held my glass, and said I wanted to say a few words. Chloe looked up at me, beaming, probably expecting some emotional, romantic speech about our journey. Instead, I cleared my throat, took a deep breath, and said, "Tonight, I want to thank two very special people for planning the wedding of their dreams." The room went quiet. I continued, "Chloe and Dylan, you've spent the last few weeks designing every part of this event together. From the cake to the flowers, the first dance song, even the venue, all your choices. You've called each other soulmates. You've built something beautiful together. And I've been watching, listening, taking notes." People shifted in their seats. Chloe's smile had dropped completely. Dylan looked frozen, holding a fork midair. Her parents looked confused. I kept going. "I've decided I can't marry someone who's already emotionally married to someone else. So instead of starting a life built on a lie, I'm ending it tonight. There won't be a wedding tomorrow. The venue has been canceled. The vendors have been notified. The annulment papers were filed this morning." Gasps echoed around the room. One of her bridesmaids dropped her glass. Her dad looked at me like he wanted to say something, but didn't. Chloe just sat there, silent, staring at me like she was trying to wake up from a dream. I finished my toast with one last line. "I hope you two enjoy the wedding you planned. You can still have it, just without me in it." I sat down, calmly took a sip of my water, and watched her world unravel in real time. She stood up slowly, her voice shaking. "You can't do this. Not like this." But I already had. I'd given her every chance to reconsider, to see what she was really doing. I didn't fight her when she let another man take over our wedding. I didn't complain when she said he was her soulmate. I just let it happen, and let her reveal exactly who she was. She ran out crying. Dylan tried to follow, but her father grabbed his arm and told him not to take another step. That part wasn't my business. My part was done. I left the dinner without looking back. Got in my car, drove home, and slept better than I had in months. The next morning, I woke up to dozens of missed calls and messages. Some from her, some from her family. None of them changed anything. I closed the chapter. I wasn't angry. I wasn't heartbroken. I was just done. A week later, I got a message from Dylan. A long, dramatic paragraph about how things had gotten complicated between him and Chloe, and how he never intended to hurt anyone. I didn't even reply. Let them sit in the wreckage they built together. They got exactly what they asked for, a wedding planned around a lie, and a future built without me. I wasn't the kind of man to raise my voice or cause a scene, but I knew how to walk away quietly, with every detail accounted for, every step thought through, and a calm, unshakable exit. And that's exactly what I did. If you felt every word, hit that subscribe button, because sometimes the best revenge is letting people live in the mess they plan themselves.